far more than someone who says they're a friend.
Thank you, and I yield back.
Mr. Ciscomani.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Becerra, for being with us today, for coming to testify. As you know, the U.S. has large disparities in health outcomes among U.S. women. We talked a bit about that right now, and minority populations as well, when compared to men. And as a father of three girls, I've never wanted to see my daughters face undue challenges because of their gender or their race. And that goes for healthcare research to job opportunities as well. So my question is, despite making up more than half of the population, women have been historically understudied and underrepresented in health research, as well as being chronically underfunded. And I'm concerned. I'm concerned many of the diseases we are focused on today, such as Alzheimer's and cardiovascular disease, impact women to a far greater extent. In light of this, how does HHS plan to advance women's health research across the agency to prevent, diagnose, and also treat health conditions in women?
Congressman Ciscomani, as a father of three daughters as well, I feel for you because you have to sometimes go without the kisses and hugs that you get from those three daughters probably every day you're around.
True all the way.
Yes, and you're gonna love. I don't know how old yours are, but mine are now in their 20s, and they're gems. In fact, one of them was in this room for a while. You're a lucky man. And what I will tell you is that this president has given us an opportunity to really focus in on women's health and women's health research. This week, the president announced through an executive order that we're going to double down on doing health research. Quick thing I learned, women athletes, for the most part, the athletic apparel they wear, whether it's their shoes or their jerseys, are simply downsized versions of the men's shoes and jerseys. Women's feet are very different from men. Their arches are different, but yet they have to wear for professional athletic activity shoes that were designed for men. Jerseys, I found out that the Spirit, I think is the name of the team, the soccer team here, women's soccer team here in Washington, D.C., their jerseys are just smaller men's jerseys. It goes to that extent that not only have we not done the research on heart disease, which attacks women more than men, but we don't even make sure that our athletes, our greatest athletes, are getting the kind of equipment they need. We have to do more. If you're interested in that, we'd love to chat with your team about what we're doing and how we could use your support.
Yeah, that was the full nature of the question. And to begin to tackle this health disparity, we need to begin with how agencies collect data, I think, as well. I don't know if you were aware that only about 5% of clinical trials even report the number of participants by sex. So how much of your budget is going to focus on women's health research specifically?
Well, the president's budget actually increases by several hundred million, the focus on women's research. And we have a particular project, and I hope you're familiar with ARPA-H, the new program that's similar to DARPA at the Department of Defense. They have what they call a sprint on women's health. And what we're doing is we're going to reach out to private sector companies, usually small businesses that are having difficulty finding capital to move their project forward. And we're going to see which one of them, it's sort of like a Shark Tank. And we're going to invest in some of these private sector innovators to see what we can move forward, and it's going to be on women's health research.
Well, I do want to take you up on the specific briefing on that. One more question, while on the topic of women's health here, I specifically want to ask about the department's focus on maternal health.
Yes.
A critical component is having safe medications and therapeutics that can be used during pregnancy. But despite 90% of pregnant women taking medications, less than 5% of medications have any data on how it impacts women during pregnancy or her baby. Like I mentioned, and you and I talked about, I'm a dad of three girls. I'm also a dad of three boys. So I've been with my wife through 6 different pregnancies. And then to think that mothers are likely taking medications that have never been studied on pregnant women, that's concerning. So what is the agency doing to begin studying common medications and therapeutics taken by pregnant women?
We are, and the focus of the Women's Health Research Initiative is to absolutely make sure that not only are women included in general research projects, but that there are those that are specifically geared towards their health. and their conditions, so we understand them better. Why is it that women seem to get Alzheimer's at a greater rate than men? Those are the kind of questions that these initiatives will actually help us answer, and we'd love to have you on board, and congratulations on the 3 boys as well.
Well, I definitely am on board. I want to make sure that we are, the disparities here between the percentage of the research that we're actually conducting and the percentage of women getting these diseases is quite astounding. So the numbers have been there for a while. This is not any new information to any of us, so we need to tackle that issue immediately. If that would be my suggestion.
We'll reach out to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I yield back. Thank you.
Mr. Latourner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Secretary, welcome today.
Thank you.
We have seen a surge in recent years of youth mental health issues. And we are seeing in particular